Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to another two-player co-op quick hits episode. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother, from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Tired. Good.
Tired, also.
Today, what do we want to talk about with the people, Sean?
We want to talk about one of the best games to ever be made, Metal Gear Survive.
So, not the good MGS, but we're going to talk about it. So, this past week was TGS, Tokyo Game Show, if you don't know that, and They did a little gameplay demo, which is what everybody's been waiting to see. We saw the horrible trailer for Metal Gear Survive. We wanted to know what the gameplay actually looks like in this monstrosity, and they showed us. What'd you think?
I do not rescind what I have said multiple times on the whole zombie genre in general. I'm done with it. Other than Resident Evil, I'm just done with it. It's overdone. It's like to me it just seems like a cheap, easy.
It's a cash.
It's the equivalent of a Mick Foley cheap pop.
Right
it's
here,
just like we
in
could just
Memphis,
make
Tennessee,
a zombie game and then everybody will buy it because zombies.
The zeitgeist, as Colin likes to say.
I'm sick of it.
However,
that being said, the gameplay actually did look pretty cool. It looks like something that I could just... I mean, it's Metal Gear Solid 5. I could pick that up and play it with almost no learning curve. I like that. I do like what I've seen of the co-op aspects of it. I like that you can kind of like check the map and see where your other team is going and what they're doing. I like that it's not just hordes of zombies that you're just mowing down.
Although we did
it's
see
like,
that.
Well, yeah, but it's not all that.
Right.
But you see, there's a guy over here, and
I can stealth
God,
him
he's missing half of his head. Okay, I can sneak up behind him and stab him in his little thing and kill him. Or you can use the environment, like she kicked the zombie into the spikes.
Into the spikes,
and
yeah.
I kind of like it. It's not something that, as of right now, to me, it doesn't seem like something I don't think I'm even going to buy it. I'm not that far yet, but it looks cool. It looks fun. I think if this was just a Konami game and it did not have the Metal Gear name attached to it, I think you and a lot of people, I said this when we first talked about it, they put the Metal Gear on it, the Metal Gear name on it to make it more marketable and to sell more copies. And in the end, I think it's going to do the opposite. I think if they didn't put the Metal Gear name on it, to me, this game looks a lot cooler. It seems like, even though Kojima had nothing to do with it, it is working off of stuff that he created. So that's part of what draws me to it, is that I know it's got a good base to it. I don't know where the story will go. It may just be ridiculous. So that's part of what draws me in, but at the same time, I don't like that they call it a Metal Gear game. But the gameplay footage, it did look pretty fun. I'm not to the point where I'm ready to buy it, but it looks kind of... This is not a game, even though it's a Metal Gear game, this is not a game I'm going to buy for the story. This is a game that if I bought, I'm going to buy because it looks fun.
And that's my problem with it. And I got into a debate with one of my good buddies on Twitter, Perfect Stealth. If you're watching this, I love you. We just got different thoughts on this game, and that's cool. We're still buddies. He's one of the best Metal Gear players you've ever seen. He's awesome, and he's a good follow on Twitter. He follows me. We go back and forth and stuff. He's really good. He said he's always liked Metal Gear for the gameplay, so he's actually excited for this, and he's never really cared about the story. That blows my mind that anybody who's a Metal Gear fan cannot care about the story. And I told him, I said, I can make the argument that the gameplay wasn't good.
The gameplay...
Until 5.
Right. Metal Gear
maybe,
game you
but even then
play
it
for
didn't.
the story.
But it played like a shooter.
Right.
3, 2, at least 3 subsistence. You got the camera that you can move it, but you're using circle to shoot and stuff.
Control, yeah.
And it was weird, and you didn't have the crouch walk yet like you did in Peace. No, that's what I said. Peace Walkers when the gameplay got good, and then 5 perfected it.
Yep. Oh. I don't think I watched the whole video, so maybe it's something that gets explained later on, or maybe it's been talked about elsewhere.
Every second.
Why in the world would you Fulton zombies?
They have supplies. You Fulton them like you kill them, because in Metal Gear Solid 5 you can't Fulton dead people.
Right.
So you Fulton these creatures, as they're calling them. They're zombies. You Fulton them back, they said, because they have supplies that you can pilfer from them to do the craft. Did you see that it's got crafting and stuff in it? To do the crafting and to maybe build the barricades and stuff like that.
Okay.
They have some kind of stuff on them. I don't think the game looks horrible. Now that I still say the original trailer, worst trailer, most tone-deaf trailer I've ever seen. This is the first thing you're going to do with Metal Gear after Kojima, and you're just like, look at this, we got arrows that spin and blow up, and there's zombies, and there's Snake, but oh, bye, Snake. That's the last time we're ever going to see you, probably. The game doesn't look horrible to me. It just looks bleh. It just looks... It's more Metal Gear Solid 5, for sure. But, like you said, but like, why? I mean, I know the gameplay is perfect, but...
Yeah, I don't care about the story at all. I don't care about these, as of right now, nameless mother-based soldiers. Like,
they're all mother... Because they're all...
Sleeping wolf. I mean,
right.
like...
They're all nameless because you just create
them.
So there is no story. Like, I almost... Like, some people are already speculating, maybe this... You get to the end and really they've been dead this whole time. And maybe. This is just their consciousness before they die or something like that. I don't think Konami is smart enough to come up with something like that without Kojima, but that's just me. They literally, and we knew they were going to do this, but I didn't know they were going to do it 100%. They reused the Afghanistan map 100%. They just moved some things around. Like somebody did a YouTube video where the gameplay starts when they spawn in. He's sitting right there on the Afghanistan map, and he turns and does everything. And they moved some, like, when they went through that first building and he was, like, grabbing stuff. I'm like, I remember that from Mission 3.
Yeah.
But when you're going, first, real mission after
when
you
had to
get cows.
kill
the
guy
commander guy with the red hat.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, that's right out of that. But he went through the whole thing, and it is the Afghanistan map with some things just moved around, and you put a wall here and you move some trees around. It's the Afghanistan map. We knew they were kind of going to do that. We knew they were going to reuse assets. I didn't know they were just going to completely reuse Afghanistan and say that that's Zombieland.
It's a great movie.
I haven't seen that. It looks like it'd be fun, though. It looks like Dead Rising, the movie, basically, or whatever those zombie games were that were so much fun. Where you put a chainsaw on like a shovel and you're killing zombies in the mall. I think it's Dead Rising. Anyways, this just to me like it looks fine. I will say if it didn't have the Metal Gear name, I probably wouldn't even pay attention to it at all.
Right.
But to that same point, I will admit that if this was like Red Dead Nightmare or Undead Nightmare for Red Dead. If this was Kojima was still there, and I think I said this when we first talked about it being announced. Whoops. I would feel differently if this was something Kojima did. I'd be like, oh, that's funny. He's making a zombie game. That's fun.
Right. If this was like a side
exactly. It would have never been a $40 game, $30 or $40 game, whatever this is going to. We know it's not going to be 60, but it's going to be 30 or 40 bucks. No, this should have been an expansion for Metal Gear Online. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, this is just Metal Gear Online, and you're going to charge people $40 to go kill zombies. Like, this should have been a $5 or a $10 add-on to Metal Gear Online, and then I would have been fine with it. But I don't know. The funny thing, you mentioned Kojima, so he said, you saw the quote, right? Kojima also, if you watched our podcast a couple days ago, episode 39 that posted, we talked about, there was a Q&A for Death Stranding. And what we didn't mention there, we're going to mention it here. Somebody asked him about Metal Gear Survive, and he said, I can promise you I have nothing to do with that. His quote was, quote, the Metal Gear series is about political fiction and espionage. Where do zombies fit into that? And some people are calling him a hypocrite and all this other stuff because the skulls kind of turn people into zombies and stuff. But that, and then you've got like Vamp running on water and doing all this other stuff. My point on Twitter was those are characters in a story.
Right. These look like just mindless.
There's no story here. This is just...
You're just in some
go kill these zombies.
Random world, and there's zombies everywhere.
So
maybe there will be more to it, but...
Right. And then Yoji Shinkawa, he was doing the Q&A too, and he said, well, if I had anything to do with this, there would be mechs in it. We haven't seen any mechs. But the reveal trailer pretty much hinted when they go...
Zombie Metal Gear.
There's a zombie Metal Gear, which is even... Oh, my God. It's worse than the regular zombies. People are giving Kojima crap. You need to relax. Come on. The guy got treated like crap by this company. Let him get one... This is the first time he's said anything about them, positive or negative. The guy's got so much emotions and stuff built up. Let him have his joke. It's fine. I don't think it's hypocritical because those characters and stuff serve the story. So I'll move on. A couple things I noticed about the gameplay. The controls look like they're different. It kept popping up X to do the Fulton instead of triangle.
Right.
That was weird. And then I was like, maybe they're playing it on an Xbox. But then I saw a square pop up at one point. I'm like, okay, no, it's PlayStation. That's weird. There's health and stamina, which I do kind of like because that reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah. You
can use sheep to lure the zombies. Did you see that?
I missed that.
This one part, because a sheep, I guess, and that seems like something Kojima would do, so I can appreciate that. Sheep also got sucked into the wormhole from the mother base.
Why were there sheep on mother base?
We hadn't captured any yet. I don't know, but whatever. Sheep had been captured, and then what you can do... So there was this one time, I think they had 3 of the zombies, and Player X crawls up, and he sets up this Fulton cannon that is in Metal Gear Online. Again, this is basically just Metal Gear Online. And he sets it up, and the sheep walks around. He's like, "Rah!" The Fulton cannon shoots, grabs the sheep, and lifts him up. But you can't Fulton the sheep back to base. Why? If you can Fulton a dead zombie, why can't you Fulton an alive?
Yeah, how are you? Is there a wormhole
sheep
still up there, and you just Fulton them through a wormhole? Like
the Fulton is the wormhole Fulton, yeah.
Okay.
And they go back to your base. Why can't you take the poor sheep away from these
Why
zombies?
can't you just Fulton yourself through
and
the
put him
wormhole?
back at base? Because it's I don't know. But then so it's hanging there and it's going brah, brah. And so the zombies see it and they're like,
reminds me of Jurassic Park.
And they wander up to it and then you sneak up behind them and you kill them all with your teammates, and that was cool. The other thing you notice, if you hit them in their big horn head thing, it dazes them. Like that's what happens to Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5. They always say if he gets hit in the horn, that's when you get all the colors go weird and stuff like that. Did you watch the base defense mission, or did you quit after the first mission?
I didn't even see that.
You can place fences and stuff. They just appear there from a wormhole. There's just wormholes everywhere. You just say, I want to place this, and it goes, boom, and you can do Gatling guns and all this stuff. And you want to talk, so you didn't see when, at the end of the demo, they're fighting them off, and then all of a sudden, like 100 zombies they're crawling over the fences, and they swarm the place, and they go and they blow up your beacon, and everybody has to run. So now their base has been taken over. I'm like, well, that was your base. Now what do you do? Because in the story, that should be it. Now you're done. Like, you don't even have a base. You're just out on your own. It was just a typical zombie horde. They showed the crafting and how you can make stuff, but I mean,
and they brought back the the medical attention stuff from 3, and
it looks like it's a lot more simple.
Yeah,
which some people will probably like. I didn't mind going into the menus and picking the knife to get the bullet out, and then you got to use the sutures because it all made sense. It could get tedious. I understand that. It looks like this is just, as long as you've got the supplies, you just go to your leg and you push X and you hold it and it heals. Kind of like reviving people in Call of Duty multiplayer. You hold X and it fixes, and then you go. So I do like that. That's something I'm surprised that they didn't do in 5, especially when they show at the beginning when you're going through the hospital and Snake pops his arm back in place and stuff. Yeah. I was surprised that they didn't do something like that in 5. But yeah, my overall thoughts, it's just blah. It just is what it is. The gameplay does look good, and I hate that.
It is very much
it's Metal Gear Solid 5.
A catch-22.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, if it wasn't Metal Gear, I wouldn't care about it.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the fact that they're calling it Metal Gear. Maybe if it was just Konami and it was obviously using the Metal Gear Solid 5 engine. Maybe that's the happy medium. Like, okay, I see they're obviously using this engine, so that's cool. I like that. Because that's really the only reason that's the only positive I can see with it being a Metal Gear game, is that it's obviously just Metal Gear Solid 5.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... So I like that. I don't like that they're calling it a Metal Gear game. And I'm sure there's explanations for everything. I feel like I've already uncovered several plot holes.
Yeah, if there's even a plot.
We've been talking for 15 minutes. But again, this is not a game I don't think that people will buy because of the story.
Like, I wonder if this is even going to sell 100,000 copies. I really wonder how successful this game's going to be. I might end up playing it, and we'll see more at some point. But I will never buy this game and give Konami my money. I will say that 100%. No. If I play this game, I will be buying it used. And if it's digital only, well, screw you guys. You're not getting my money. If it does have a physical release, I might at some point pick it up from GameStop for $15 or whatever. If I want to say whatever, let's just play it. But the other thing I'm interested in the gameplay, they didn't explain this because they showed how everybody in the gameplay demo, real players were controlling each of the characters.
Right.
But they said you can play it by yourself. So I wonder, when you play it by yourself, are you by yourself or do you have 3 AI characters? That's what I wonder, because I don't think
I would
they
assume
mentioned
you
that.
have AI characters.
I would think so, and then you can give them commands and stuff.
And you can probably
like,
switch between them. And
yeah,
I would. That's how I imagined it anyway. But
I don't know. I hate that I still was holding out hope that at TGS they were going to show Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. And it didn't happen. So that pissed me off even more.
At some point, you got to let that die.
No, there's no way they built all those cutscenes for a stupid pachinko. For only a stupid pachinko, I should say.
Yeah. It's
going to happen. I'm already going to make that an E3 prediction for next year if we're still doing this podcast. Then hopefully we will be. That's our thoughts. What'd you guys think of Metal Gear Solid? No. Metal Gear Survive, now that we've actually seen some gameplay. Is it your worst nightmare come to life? Do you not care? Does it look fine? Are you excited? If you are excited, that's okay. Like I said on Twitter too, I hate that this fan base is getting fractured again because it got fractured over all the Gray Fox crap.
Well, it's fractured but whole.
He'll be here all week, folks. I don't want it to be like, oh, you're excited to play this game. You're not a real Metal Gear fan, because that's crap. Don't be like that. Please don't be like that. I'm not excited for this game, but I interacted with Perfect Stealth. He is excited. We had a fine conversation. I told him that. I said, look, I don't think you're like not a Metal Gear fan because you're excited for this game, because there's a lot of people that think that. If you think that, you're idiots. Get on with your lives. It's not that important. But let us know below what you think. Like I said, are you excited for Metal Gear Survive? Do you care one way or the other? If you like the video, hit the like button here. Hit that subscribe button over here. Really appreciate that if you could do that. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Share the video. And, come back for more content here on Two Player Co-op. I guess that's it for this time. So, hey, Sean, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
Thank you for playing.
Thank you.